Hello Libra rising, thank you for joining me for this video. In this video we will be discussing not only the full moon in Libra coming up on April 5th, but also the recent ingress of Pluto into Aquarius. This is a huge deal for everybody, and depending on your rising sign, this will be hitting you in a different part of your life. And this is significant because Pluto has been in Capricorn for the last 16 years, and it will be moving into Aquarius where it will stay for 20 years. So the energies that this Pluto brings is really impactful in everybody's lives. So let's get into this, what this means for you, Libra rising. Okay, so we're going to start out with the full moon first. Now, we use, or I use, or a lot of people use, the High Priestess to represent the moon. The energy of the High Priestess is intuition, mystery, knowledge, inner wisdom. So the moon is in Libra during the full moon, which for you, Libra rising, is your first house. This is the house of self, identity, appearance, and perspective on the world. When we have a full moon, the sun and the moon are in opposites. They're opposite signs, which means they're in opposite houses. So we use the sun card for the sun, and the sun is joy and creativity and vitality. So the sun is over here in Aries, and Aries is your 7th house. Now your first house is Libra, and for Libra we use the Justice card. Both the energies of Libra and the Justice card represent fairness, balance, and truth. So you as a Libra rising, that's kind of how your perspective on the world is, through the energy of fairness, balance, and truth. So when the moon moves into your first house, it's really highlighting these first house energies of self, independence, and who you are as an individual, how people see you, and how you see the world. The 7th house, which is the opposite house, for you is your Aries house. And Aries is leadership and stability and authority. Now your 7th house is your house of relationships, unions, partnerships. So when we have a full moon, the sun and the moon their energies are pulling apart from each other like a rubber band. So in this case, we have the energy of self, of who you are as an individual, pulling apart or creating tension or conflict with the energy in your house of relationships. Now this could be romantic relationship. Let me take these off because I know that's glaring the computer screen. So this could be your house of relationships, of romantic relationships, but it's also partnerships, unions. This could be business partnerships. This could be best friendship. This could be some other type of one-on-one partnership where you are working towards a common goal. So when you have a full moon in your first house and your 7th house, this can indicate a potential conflict between your individual needs and the desires within your relationship with others. This aspect may bring the need for balance and compromise in your interpersonal relationships. Okay, next we have Jupiter that we have to add to this equation. Jupiter is represented by the Wheel of Fortune, and this represents cycles, changes, and destiny. The Wheel of Fortune, or Jupiter, is also in Aries, so it's joining the sun in your 7th house. So the sun is shining its light, lighting up, illuminating who you are within a relationship. And then we have Jupiter here bringing its expansive qualities to this relationship situation. But because it is opposing the moon over here in your first house, the moon has a lot of emotion to it. It brings up a lot of emotion from things that have harmed us in the past or touched us some way in the past. So when we have the moon over here in the first house, it is opposing Jupiter and the sun in your 7th house. Now this again is bringing a highlight for the need for harmony and balance within your relationships. But because of this Jupiter here, it's also bringing a potential for exaggerated optimism or overindulgence in your relationships. It's bringing attention to the need for self-awareness and moderation in your relationships, both in terms of emotional and material resources. So there's a lot of happy shining light going on here, but this Jupiter here, it's bringing a lot of joy and expansive happiness within this relationship, but it's also bringing the potential for exaggeration and overindulgence. So be aware of that. Now we have to talk about Pluto. So Pluto has been in Capricorn, which is your 4th house, Libra. This is your house of home, family, private life, emotional security, your past, your roots, and your foundation. Now, for the past 15, 16 years, Pluto has been making its way through this house. Just last week, it made its way into Aquarius, which is your 5th house. Now, Pluto will be in Aquarius until June, where it is retrograde. It will be retrograde at that point, and it's going to slip back over this border back into Capricorn. It's going to make this jump over this border 2 more times until November 19th, 2024. I'm going to put up some dates that you can take a screenshot of or write down. I will also link down below in the description to my Lunatic Fringe blog page, and you can just click on over and grab these images for yourself so that you can have these dates on hand, because there's a lot of important dates for Pluto movement over the next 2 years, roughly 18 months or so. So Pluto will be jumping back and forth between your house of home and family and roots and your house of play, romance, creativity, creative expression, recreation. So that's a huge energy shift, not only in the house it's in, but also in the energy from Capricorn to Pluto. And we'll talk about that in just a second. But the reason that Pluto is such a big deal is because it stays somewhere for a really long time. So for 15 or 16 years, it's been hanging out in this 4th house. Well, for the next 20 years, after it makes its way into Aquarius, it won't be making this jump back into Capricorn ever again in our lifetimes. It's going to stay in Aquarius in your 5th house for the next 20 years. So it's important to know what this energy might be bringing to you. So right now it is in Aquarius, and during this new moon it will be in Aquarius. So it's bringing a taste of what this energy might be bringing for us, for you, over the next 20 years. So Pluto moving out of Capricorn, the Capricorn energy, Capricorn is represented by the Devil card. And this card represents materialism, temptation, and enslavement, generally by yourself, self-enslavement. For the past 16 years, you've been dealing with maybe some chains that you feel have been on you regarding your home life, private life, family life, your roots, your past, your foundation. Well, now Pluto is moving into Aquarius, and Aquarius energy is the energy of, Aquarius is represented by the star, and this energy is hope and inspiration and guidance. This is learning to shine within your environment. So this aspect of having Pluto in Aquarius, moving into Aquarius over the next 20 years, this will bring a huge transformational shift to your personal life, especially in matters related to creativity, self-expression, and romance. This aspect can bring a potential for deep personal growth and healing through exploring new forms of self-expression and finding joy in your creative endeavors. Additionally, having Pluto in Aquarius for the next 10 years in your 5th house may also bring about a desire for greater freedom and independence in matters relating to love and pleasure and romance. There is a huge need here. What Pluto has been doing in this fourth house and moving on is it's showing you that you need to release old patterns and beliefs that are hindering the expression of your true and authentic self in order for you to fully embrace new forms of self-expression that more align with who you are as an authentic person. Okay, now we bring Mercury into the mix. Mercury is in Taurus. This is the house of personal transformation and shared resources. It's the house of sex and intimacy. So Mercury is represented by the Magician, and this is the energy of manifestation, action, and creation. Mercury is also the messenger, so there's a lot of information flow, data flow, info coming in, info coming out, people talking about whatever is going on with your 8th house. This is the house of shared resources. Your 8th house is represented by Taurus. Taurus is the energy of tradition, of wisdom, of religion. It's very stable and very grounded. It is one of the most grounded energies. Now, what's happening is this Mercury over here in your 8th house, it's in a square to this Pluto in your 5th house. So that's a challenging energy. It's a 90-degree angle, and it is creating a bit of tension. So this is creating the potential for intense and transformative communication, particularly in matters relating to your shared resources, 8th house, and your creative expression, 5th house. This aspect is probably going to bring up some power struggles and conflicts relating to your sense of self-control, and it's going to force this deep examination of your underlying motivations and beliefs. Okay, and then we also have Venus. Venus represented by the Empress. Venus is over here in Taurus as well. Venus is the ruler of Taurus. So when Venus is in Taurus, the energy is harmonious and happy, and it's not being challenged or having to defend itself. Well, it's also in an aspect to Pluto, but because Venus just moved into Pluto, so it's at the very to Taurus, it's at the very beginning, and Mercury is moving on already, the aspect is different. This is a trine, and this is a opportunity. This is opening up opportunities. So with Venus making a trine to Pluto here, what this is giving is a potential for these deep emotional connections to be formed and have these transformative experiences through matters relating to your creative expression, your romantic situations, and personal pleasure, or possibly through children or some kind of fun or creative activity. So this aspect is really showing your desire for greater authenticity as well as vulnerability in this area of your life. And this is leading to a deeper sense of intimacy and fulfillment. So Libra, there is a lot going on with your personal relationship, with a one-on-one relationship, someone who you have shared resources with, and someone who you may have a lot of romance or romantic situations and pleasure with. And that is all going to be really ramping up, especially this area of your romance, creative expression. This is the house of recreation. So over the next 20 years, and recreation is not only having fun and play, but it's literally recreating the self. The first house is the self, second house is you and your values, third house is you and your mind, fourth house is where you come from, fifth house is you recreating yourself for the world to see. So this is creation, self-expression, artistic expression, drama, recreating yourself literally through making babies, through recreating you as a human being. Okay, so if you're not interested in having babies, well, beware that over the next 20 years, there's going to be some potential for a lot of changes, a lot of shifts and changes and upheavals going on in your house of children, play, fun, recreation, romance, creativity. Okay, Libra, we will be revisiting Pluto a number of times over the next 2 years as it makes its jump back and forth across this Aquarius border. But enjoy this taste of what the Pluto in Aquarius is going to be bringing you for the next 20 years, as it's really highlighting your need for balance in who you are as an individual and who you are in a relationship with someone who you probably share intimacy and resources with. Okay, Libra, thank you for watching. Please be sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. The next moon that we will be covering is also an eclipse, so you're not going to want to miss out on that one. Thank you for watching to the end of the video, and I will see you next time. Bye.